21 Olarune, late winter, the month of the Sentinel, 994 YK. Sharn, the city of towers. While we would most likely enjoy staying up top at the highest levels of Sharn, we get closer to the city of towers and start flying past the mile-high towers, flying deeper and deeper into the lower levels, past the middle districts, past the lower districts, even past Lower Sharn, built on ancient goblin ruins, and head deeper into the Cogs, the heart of the industrial facility. Here, amongst smoldering forges, wandering warforged, goblinoids, and the seedy underbelly of the city, a variety of trades happen here, from arms deals to drug trades. But tonight, we're focusing in on a little entertainment. We get closer to the Troll's Nose Inn, a place that holds a variety of wrestling matches. You can see a line circling the building, heading off into the darkness of the Cogs. We can see these people are watching a variety of fights in the middle of a smoky ring. We have dwarves and sitting amongst goblins, sitting amongst warforged, sitting amongst all sorts of folk from across the land of Corvair. We're not quite going to pay attention to this fight because backstage, we have an issue unfolding. A giant lumbering ogre seems to be swaying with vomit all over his mouth. Next to him is a little halfling trying to prop up what she can of this giant ogre. Things don't quite look right. This halfling is doing her best to prop this big giant lumbering thing as we hear fighting happening off in the distance. Oh jeez, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Out of the shadows, one of her co-workers comes out. He's been very familiar with these back rooms, setting up a variety of dealings from ringers to contenders to bettors to all sorts of people.
You see a half-orc with a long single braid going down. Skin still a little dirty, but cleaner than all the other half-orcs you see around the Cogs. He has a long jacket, a bit shorter in stature than you'd see from a normal half-orc. But this guy means business. He has a serious look on his face.
Hey, that ogre, he's over drinking once again. He can't handle his stuff. I knew we should have had him on the bill this time. This is the second time he's done this. This is unbelievable. We're trying to run a business here.
Nella, the halfling, whips her head towards you. Erd, it's worse than that.
Worse?
He's on dragon's blood. He's been taking some heavy drugs. I don't know if he's going to be able to fight tonight. He's supposed to go up against Daring Dar. People are expecting an amazing match tonight. What are we going to do? She can see she's like constantly wringing her hands. She's nervous. She starts pacing as much as she can, but she's quickly moving back and forth to the ogre, trying to keep him propped up against the wall. This ogre looks like he's had a night.
I know we're supposed to keep an eye on this ogre. We're supposed to be making sure he doesn't get back into this sauce again. I just can't handle this. Is there anyone else we can get to fight? Is there some local drunk we can punch up or somebody else on the undercard?
Nella starts wringing her hands. There's a couple options we can pursue, but we're going to have to talk to the boss. Or I don't know if he's going to like that. The other thing we can do is I can talk to Drummond. He's one of the owners of a shop around here. He can supply us with some hookups.
No. We're not bringing that bastard into this. We handle everything internally. We'll take care of this one. There's too much money riding on this match. There's too many bets coming in. If we cancel this, there'd be way too many people angry.
Erd kind of looks around, not sure what to do.
Erd has been here for the past 2 years, working a job that was assigned to him from one of his former compatriots of Sire. It's been quite an interesting journey as he's formed contacts, as he's put people into wrestling matches, as he has dealt with the coffers of money flow in and throughout the Troll's Nose Inn. He hasn't been able to handle a lot of it, but he knows that this is putting the pieces in play for his larger connections back in Sire. But tonight, of all nights, this match is the biggest one that the people of the Cogs have been expecting. Nella speaks up. We always have the cleaner Do you want me to call the cleaner? He can come down, he can assess the situation. He could, he can change his form and he could become this ogre. We could send him in to fight, but he's gonna want a big cut.
It's just not something we can afford anymore. We've been struggling enough to get people to come to these fights, and we need something. We need something new. We need to do something different.
What do you suggest?
I think it's time I take the matter into my own hands. I think it's time I step into the ring and set this right. You fools clearly can't get this right anymore and keep this damn ogre off this sauce, this dragon's blood.
Nella's shocked.
Time to show you how a real person deals with this. I think I'll take it this time.
You?
You see how I deal with all the drunkers around here and throwing them out of the bar and keeping order here? I think I can keep order in the ring, and plus, there are too many bets going on in this, and we need to make sure that this match is seen through.
Well, why don't we just call it? We'll just, we'll tell the people that the match is postponed. They're gonna want to see this ogre out in there. And all of a sudden, she has an idea. We'll set it up. We'll send them out, let them stumble out there, and let the ultimate take over. Let's set up a new match, set up a new fight.
The ultimate?
The ultimate. Well, what better way to beat this little ogre than with something more ultimate than what they're expecting?
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah. What do you say?
I'm down.
Well, you better clean up your act a little bit. They're going to want something a little bit more flashy. I'm going to try to get this ogre as red as rain. We got some bright herb that we can put under his nose. It'll give him a brief shock for a couple minutes, and I'll send him out there. She looks up the hallway to the ring, which is wreathed in smoke, and people are fighting and cheering on the match as it's going on.
Erd makes his way back to the old dressing room, looking around, scavenging through different drawers, different trash bins, to find anything to kind of gussy himself up, to make it look like the old bouncer coordinator isn't the guy stepping into the ring.
Nella runs to the cabinet. She opens up and starts going through a bunch of bottles, looking for herbs, looking for the right bright herb that she's looking for.
I'm looking around and I find this old kind of like yellow cape that I throw around my neck. I go to the bar and I ask them for some sort of herbs and elixir to kind of like make a paste. And I just take my hand and put that paste on my hand and just run it down my face. So there's just a streak of paint. And I take some red berries that they're using to mix into some of the drinks and just put it around my eyes, and it looks like just as blood is running down my eyes.
As you're crushing the red paste for your face, we cut to Nella, and she's crushing some white flowers, making a powder, putting it underneath the ogre's nose. You can see what drunken state he's in. He puffs in the herbs, and all of a sudden his eyes become a little bit brighter.
I look over at her. Are you ready for this? We're not gonna have much time with these herbs. We gotta act quick.
And you can see she starts pushing him and corralling him out up to the plank that leads up to the wrestling match.
Anything goes wrong, you cover my ass, all right? We're in this together.
She gives you a big thumbs up. All of a sudden the bell rings and the ogre starts stumbling in. You hear the crowd cheering. You hear everyone ready for the next fight. Everyone is in an uproar as they see the ogre stumbling about, his eyes diluted from the light that's flooding in. He has no idea what's going on. On the opposite end of the ring, Daring Dar, the big hobgoblin from Drome, enters with his big shining belt. You can see people booing, you see people cheering him on. He's calling down the ogre, asking for his next fight, which has been set up, but now Erd knows it's not going to happen as intended. The ogre stumbles into the ring, tripping over the rope, basically gets himself caught up, and Daring Dar is a little bit caught off guard. This isn't what they've been planned at all.
Erd decides this is his time to strike. So he comes out, he runs into the ring, and he just yells, "You!" pointing to Daring Dar.
What are you trying to do? Fix this match. This man's clearly intoxicated.
As he just starts foaming from the mouth.
You fed him dragon's blood. What is this type of tomfoolery?
Pointing at Daring Dar.
You think you can cheat in these matches? Not on my watch. Not on Ultimate Erd's watch. You're going down, Dar.
With that, Daring Dar charges you, and Erd and Dar clash in a gladiatorial combat, and a wrestling match ensues as blows and punches and headlocks ensue. These guys are walloping each other back and forth. Daring Dar is more outraged at the fact that he was set up to win this, has seemed to be thrown out the window as he's now faced with a new competitor, Ultimate Erd. Daring Dar is down on all fours, leaving an opportunity for Erd to take advantage of his prone state.
Erd looks up at him, looks down at Dar, looks back at the crowd.
This is for what you did. This is for what you did. Fixing this match. This will not stand at the troll's nose in. Not under Ultimate Erd's watch.
And he lifts up his elbow and he says,
Time for
and he looks around,
the Ultimate Erd elbow.
and he lifts it up and just smacks Daring Dar right on the back of the head with his elbow.
You knock him out cold from the ultimate elbow. And the crowd is in an uproar, cheering this sight they've never seen before. Usually Daring Dar is the person poised to always win, and this has taken them aback. And you can see as tons of people are shocked and amazed as they see the bets that have been made in Daring Dar's favor now pour back into the house's coffers.
Erd punches his chest. Yeah! And as he's like kind of gloating to the crowd and feeling this type of fanfare that he's never felt before, he kind of thinks to himself, I can't believe this plan actually came together and this actually worked. And he's kind of intoxicated in this moment with this feeling.
After the match, you and Nella, counting up the wages that Ultimate Erd has made, have really shocked both of you. This is a night to remember. As she's counting the pieces, you kind of look at one another, realizing you've spent the past 2 years here, building up coffers, sending money back to Sire.
Nella, I can't believe we had a night like this. I can't believe this plan together. That damn ogre, I mean, it seemed like this dragon blood worked in our favor. I mean, as bad as this stuff is, this has been amazing. I can't believe it. Did you see me out there?
She's wringing her hands. Ultimate Erd really has struck the scene tonight. Look at this. You know, Troll's Nose has never been more popular than tonight. Usually everyone kind of predicts who's going to win the match, but we threw a curveball out there and people want more. They don't even care they've lost their wages. They want to see someone fighting for the scum that's happening here in the Troll's Nose and the Cogs. I can't believe it. Let me tell you, our contacts back in Sire will be quite impressed. It's at this point, a stack of newspapers on the table next to you catches your eye. The Sharn Inquisitive, with the headlines, Sire, consumed by deadly fog. At this point, word of the day of mourning has begun to travel all over the continent, and even to the depths of Sharn here in the Cogs.
Erd's thoughts just immediately go to his crew members, to his friends, in Sire, everyone, and he just can't. He's just despondent. He can't speak.
Nella, known for wringing her hands, stops. Her hands drop on the table. Erd, what?
What do we even do? Is this even worth it anymore? What is this even?
We've been sending all of our profits back to Sire. This whole 2 years, we don't have anything to show for it.
Nella, this might be time to grab some of these pieces and get up and move. Our mission's clearly different now, and I just don't even...
I can't. She starts grabbing what little coins are left in front of her and starts throwing them into her backpack and starts backing out of the room, bumping into people, and she's easily starting to get lost into the mix. Erd, I can't.
Erd kind of grabs her shoulder. We're in this thing.
She's too far away.
He's grabs what pieces he can, and he's following her right out.
People are bumping up against Erd. Ultimate Erd! Oh, let me tell you, that bowman. You can see people start patting their own elbows, mimicking what Erd has done. This gives Nella an opportunity to start slipping away. Her face just looks wrought with fear. She's not sure what she's doing, but she seems to be in duress. And Erd is left with a moment where he's wondering if all was for naught, if the plan that has been put into place by his former compatriots is for nothing.
He's standing there despondent for a second, just watching Nella walk away with the pieces. His whole world has been destroyed from where he grew up, what he knew, and he's just standing there and everyone's around him. Yeah, Ultimate! And for a moment he sits there just looking blankly, and then he lifts up his elbow and he's, get me a drink! And a drink comes over, and he raises it up in the bar and says, Ultimate Erd, to the Cogs! And he just kind of takes a drink. And everyone around him is drinking as well.
After all of this high point, matched by an equally as deep low point, we see Erd sitting in the Troll's Nose Tavern all by himself.
He's got his jacket collar up, some of the paint still on his face, a couple little pieces. He's slumped over just clearly after a night of hard drinking and just is a shell of himself, barely keeping it together.
He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a sphere of polished crystal. He holds onto it deeply.
I wonder where they are. Will they be there? I gotta go and find out.
This was a prologue introducing Erd, played by Andrew Gallagher, one hero in Eberron Chronicles, Oracles of War, a D&D 5e Adventurers League campaign, DM'd by Alex Laferriere. Influence this game and story at EberronChronicles.com and subscribe to this show wherever you get your podcasts.
Email the show directly at speakingstone@EberronChronicles.com. We really do read every email from the fans. You are our dragon shards and keep this show powered. The adventure begins today.